Welcome to Pound for Pound.
It's my pal Duke.
It's my buddy Slugger. Basically, anybody who came from Facebook, we greatly appreciate you for tuning in. For everyone who didn't come from Facebook, that's just on YouTube scrolling around, we appreciate you. Hopefully you'll like this channel. Basically, to give you a quick rundown, I'm a truck driver, outdoor enthusiast, inspiring cowboy. I grew up on the south side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so I'm no redneck or professional. It's just the simple kind of life that I love. I watched a lot of John Wayne and Clint Eastwood movies growing up, and I just love that type of genre. Love a lot of country music, Johnny Cash, George Strait. Though my favorite band is Metallica. That's kind of weird, huh, Slugger? But, we listen to wide variety, Maroon 5. We don't listen to, like, gospel or...
We don't listen to Snoop Dogg. We only listen to Flo Rida.
A little bit of Snoop Dogg. A little bit of Snoop. But, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So, I met my pal here, Duke, in the south side of Milwaukee as well. So, we've been best of friends since middle school. We played soccer, softball, football all together. And we've been planning for a long time to do this channel.
Long time.
So my interests are more in the R&D field and engineering, and we both love sports a lot. So a lot of this channel is going to be sports related because we know a lot of people out there love their college football, love the NFL, and some people like MLB or in his case hockey. So on my side, I like baseball a lot. He likes hockey, but we both love football. So he may know a little bit more than I do about hockey. I may know a little bit more about baseball, but we're going to feed off each other. We're going to feed from off the audience as well. If you guys have comments, please comment below. We're going to hit this video off with our first topic. That's going to be about Alex Ovechkin finally winning in the NHL. Duke, take it away.
Basically, if anyone's been sleeping under a rock, Alex Ovechkin just... can't give it up for that guy. When as soon as they won that game, I was taking a video of it. My brother's a huge Washington Capitals fan for more than 10 years. Especially the past 3 years, they've made it to the championship, and it's always been against Pittsburgh that they lost. It was very hard for Ovechkin to get past Crosby. I do give props to Crosby. He's one heck of a player. That Penguins team was just great. But thankfully they got past him this year. And when they went to Vegas, me and my brother, we worked together, and I was like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, they got pretty farthest they've ever been. And my brother was like, dude, they're going to fucking win this. And by the way, I apologize for any cussing that we may do. I'm a truck driver. I try not to have too much of a foul mouth, but I apologize to anyone under the age watching this or listening. But when they won the Stanley Cup, I was taking a video, and I sent it to my brother, and I was going nuts. I was like, Ovi, he did it. And one of my favorite things about his post interviews, I forgot who interviewed him. They're like, Ovechkin, you won the cup. You're Stanley Cup champion. What's your plans? And he's like, hey, babes, I don't know what to say. This is crazy. Get some beers. Start celebrating. We're Stanley Cup champions. And I was like, wow, this is so surreal. I can't believe, the past 10 years, that guy has just been a rock for the Capitals.
He's been loyal to their fan base, and a lot of people doubted the Capitals going in. Everyone thought Vegas was the odd-on favorite. I even made a bet with a friend who really thought Vegas was going to win, but I had faith that Ovechkin was loyal to the fan base, has been a great player for them, has done nothing wrong for that team, that he would be great. And look what happened to them. What do you think about the future with Alex Ovechkin on that team?
To be honest, I know at their parade, they want to go back to back, and I think the team is perfect. I know they did lose their head coach, but the talent they have is I think, very good. They've gelled very well. Tom Wilson was one hell of a player in the playoffs this year. I know a lot of people didn't care for him in some of his hits. He's a dirty guy, but he's a hard worker. I mean, if he's not out hitting, he's passing, he's covering that blue line. He's just an all-around great player. Not as great as, Crosby, Ovechkin. My favorite player is Brent Burns. But he's one heck of a player. I think the Capitals, if they do everything the same way, I mean, they found last year that they can get to the Stanley Cup. I think they can do it again. But, Slugger, I'm going to be pulling for San Jose. I want Brent Burns to get a ring next.
That's what's up. And they did pretty good this year as well.
They did.
All right.
Here's the thing I was telling you guys about. I don't know if it can focus, but it's get some beers, get some whatever, start celebrating. I mean, especially that coming from Ovechkin. The guy's a toothless Russian, and he's just like, get some beers, get some, fucking whatever, get some line of Coke. Just start celebrating like, he's been working so hard to get to this point, and you can't feel anything but happy for him. It's like when Peyton Manning won the Super Bowls last time. The cowboy rides away. It's like that good ending to send a great player off.
I do have one question for you, Duke. Is this the Capitals' first win in a Stanley Cup?
First Stanley Cup win. Being a Minnesota Vikings fan, we're still hoping for our first win. You being a Packer fan, that's hard to do. We had our chance last year, but we we choked again. Mm-hmm. It was their first time, and it was so surreal when they were playing Vegas. I was telling my brother, like, dude, I don't know, like, they've made it this far. I would hate for them to fall short, but they ended up pulling through. It was a very good series, especially by Vegas. Just hands down, just great. I mean, anyone who doesn't get into hockey. Slugger is a baseball guy, and this dude was watching almost every game. Like, dude, did you see that hit? Did you see that pass? Like, it was nonstop action. All the games were good. I mean, there was no dirty fights, no nothing. So just a great series to watch.
Agreed. So here's our second topic of the video. It's right now a potential rule addition to the Major League of Baseball where if the game goes to extra innings, they're going to automatically put a runner at second base. Now, here's many issues with this rule. Right now, they're trying to speed up the game of baseball, so they're trying to come up with everything as much as possible to lower the time of the game. I don't agree with this rule for many reasons. The most important reason is that runner on second didn't deserve to get on second. They didn't get a hit. They didn't get walked and stolen a base. They just got placed at second. To me, that's ruining baseball and ruining the fundamentals of the game.
For sure.
That's America's pastime, and to be honest, no matter how long the game goes, it needs to be played out in full. Totally disagree with that rule. I know they're playing it out with the minor leagues right now, but in my opinion, I don't agree with this. Duke, you got any opinion to that?
I mean, I get everything you're saying. To a point, I can kind of see it the way how things are changing nowadays. I just don't see, like Slugger said, why you would mess with something that's America's pastime.
It's like you're tainting the sport to a point.
I mean,
you're really changing up the game.
We don't want to get into it, but when you start touching the national anthem, I know we're going to get blasted for this, but, we are not racist at all. We live in Milwaukee. We have tons of different cultural backgrounds that are
friends with people of every kind as well,
and they all kind of stick the same thing that we do. Is for the national anthem, I mean it takes less than 5 minutes to do it, and it's for all the soldiers,
people actively serving or people that passed away. His
grandpa was in it, my grandpas were in it, and our other family members are in it. It's just
a sign of respect, and if you go out of your way to not be a part of that, I totally disagree with it.
And we hate to say it, but when you're getting paid, $400,000 or
to entertain us as fans, the least you can do is honor the flag and honor the people that have served our country.
Right.
And that's kind of maybe we'll get further into that in a different video. but that was another topic as well. So
to get back on baseball, I will say one thing, Slugger. The minor league names,
yep,
you can't beat them.
they're great.
There's a team, I think it's called like Alabama, like Muffins or something.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you can't beat that. We got the Beloit Snappers.
Yeah, I mean, they also get to wear really crazy themed jerseys like Star Wars or Harry Potter, all this kind of cool stuff. So I feel like the minor leagues of baseball definitely need to stay involved with that. Definitely got to keep those cool names, cool jerseys, cool things going on with them as well. So with that being said, we're going to move to our third topic.
So basically, both of us are going to touch on this, me being the truck driver, but he used to live in Oak Creek, and he goes to Port Washington for work, so he'd go through the heart of downtown Milwaukee, and it's not just that, it's driving anywhere at any state. Basically, my biggest pet peeve with anybody that's a driver is that turning. I mean, I see so many things on Facebook, Slugger, about people turning. There's no turn signal.
Nothing.
Sometimes, especially coming from this way, like coming onwards, and you're coming to a stop where there's no stop sign, and you're trying to debate what they're going to do, and all of a sudden they cut in front of you. And especially, I ride a motorcycle, so if someone does that, I would end up running into them. I could be hit from behind. It's just crazy. Every vehicle has turn signals. If your turn signals don't work, take your fucking vehicle in and get it fixed.
Exactly. And use your turn signal.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone talks about, saving lives. Come on. I mean, everyone talks about people on their cell phones, about texting, whatever, which is true, and I'll admit, I do it. I'm on Facebook, Snapchat, hit me up. But, I mean, everyone does it. If you say you don't, I mean, you're full of it. It's just, whether you're 16 years old, you're 18, you're 25, or you're 45, 85, and you're behind the wheel, I mean, we're all a community, whether you're a biker or a trucker or you drive a minivan. We want to keep everybody safe. If you're making a turn, it takes less than half a second to put your turn signal on. Let the other person know what you're doing in front of you, behind you, to the side of you. I mean, I see it so many times driving on the freeway, especially when people lane split. I mean, that is just crazy. And like I said, being a motorcycle rider, you never know what a vehicle is going to do. If they're just moving in a lane with no signal, you're kind of sitting there heavy on the throttle like, whoa, you just don't know what to do. And so, Slugger, you got anything to...
Yeah, I got something to add to the motorcycle part. So there's a lot of time also on the freeway where traffic is stalled and motorcyclists will go in the right lane where you're not supposed to be in. It's supposed to be only cars that are emergency situations to go off. And they just ride that lane the whole entire way until there's no traffic.
One thing I will say to that without cutting you off, sometimes motorcyclists do that just so they can be seen, and sometimes it's kind of hard. A lot of people are not always paying attention, and a lot of times motorcyclists, they don't have their neon orange or green. I can't explain that for everyone. I admit I've done that a few times just to get out of a lane so I don't have no one in back of me if it is backed up that bad. I mean, you always want to be seen. And, you can sit there and flash your horn, rev your engine.
Have
but
your lights on.
If someone's in a Mini Coupe listening to Jay-Z, they're not going to hear a motorcycle. So, but keep going. I like where you're going.
Sure, yeah. So also motorcyclists, we're trying to be cautious of them if you're in a car, but also I think motorcyclists should also wear a helmet. It's a really dangerous thing. If they get in an accident, they could die if they don't wear a helmet. I know that's like something that everyone should do, but not everyone does. But that's another just safety precaution thing. Also, to add kind of to just in general driving, a lot of people from the Wisconsin area or Illinois area, if people are coming up from Illinois, they think the speed limit here is like 90 or something like that. They're always driving nuts. You see an Illinois plate, you already know what they're doing, you already know what they're thinking, you already know where they're going. So definitely got to be watching out for speed limits. I mean, I'm not saying for everyone to go just the speed limit. I'm just saying, don't go crazy on the speed limit. You know, we're all trying to be safe, like putting your lights on if you're turning left or right, and you know, not getting any accidents.
Right. You're right, Slugger. The other thing is too is like when weather is bad, or it's especially at night, or just when it's rainy, cloudy, overcast, whatever. A lot of people in Wisconsin, they just don't seem to turn their lights on, and especially driving something close to a big rig or a motorcycle, whatever, especially late at night, no one's got their lights on. I mean, it's just crazy. There's been a lot of people I've known that have gotten into very serious car accidents. People that I don't know, but I've come in contact to, they've lost loved ones because some ignorant jackass was driving around with no lights on, or you know, was hitting the sauce. I mean, I'm all up for having a good time, having fun, but just be responsible. It's on every little bit of alcohol. Smirnoff has it, Miller High Life, you know, just drink responsible. I mean, if you're going to have a few, make sure your lights are on. Make sure if you're turning, put your lights on. If, you know, you're stalling out or whatever, put your hazards on. Let people know what you're doing. Anything to add to that?
No, nothing to add to that. Kyle brought up a lot of good points. So Duke and I are going to pretty much end our first video on this. We appreciate all of you for listening in. We're going to put up a lot more videos together.
My hat's off to you guys.
Thanks for all listening. If you have anything to say back to us, say it in the comment section. We might address it in a future video. And for today, that's it.
Pound for pound, thanks for joining us. Everyone have a great Labor Day weekend.
Be safe.
Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, share. God bless.
Hit us up.